we're going to renegotiate some of the terms, and if they'd like, we'll see if we can get that pipeline built. A lot of jobs, 28,000 jobs.
That right there, the president earlier today as he signed executive orders to advance the construction of the controversial Keystone XL and Dakota Access oil pipelines. The Dakota pipeline prompted weeks of protests in North Dakota last fall. Among the opponents, the Standing Rock Sioux, who tell NBC News they will file an immediate challenge. Joining me now, actress Shailene Woodley, a board member of Our Revolution. She's opposed the Dakota pipeline construction and was arrested in last year's protests at Standing Rock. Shailene, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Tell me, what do you do now that Donald Trump is essentially making way for this pipeline to start construction once again?
We mobilize. You know, I was on the ground at Standing Rock starting from September of last year, and we saw all of these protests. We saw people being shot with rubber bullets. I was arrested. Hundreds were arrested. People being sprayed with water cannons in sub-zero degree temperatures, trying to protect not only our earth, but also indigenous sovereignty and indigenous rights, and to protect those things. So what we can do now as a population, as a society, is to hold our corporations accountable and hold our banks accountable, because there are a lot of banks that are invested in this pipeline. And you know, if regardless of any executive order or what our politicians want to do, if there's no money invested in the pipelines, then they can't be built. So I think it's about spreading education and really honoring the fact that one of the biggest things about this particular pipeline is protecting indigenous rights, something that has been overlooked in our country for far too long.
Well, bring our viewers up to speed on this. Give them a little bit of a reminder if they weren't watching over the December holiday break. In addition to the indigenous rights, what else was you and your group protesting? What were the dangers that you believe are being posed with this pipeline?
So this pipeline would be built underneath the Missouri River. As we know, it's not a matter of if pipelines leak, it's a matter of when pipelines leak. And when this one is to leak, it would affect the drinking water of 18 million people, not only Standing Rock Sioux tribe in North Dakota and South Dakota, but millions of people downriver as well. Drinking water is not something that should be a luxury. It's not something that should be limited to privilege. It's a human right, and it's something that we all must start standing for and recognizing. Doesn't matter how much money you're in the bank, whether you're a conservative or you're a progressive, you require drinking water to survive, and that's the basic essence of what we're protecting.
Shailene, I don't need to tell you that Donald Trump campaigned on creating jobs. Jobs would be created with this pipeline, a few thousand of them, not quite as many permanent jobs, but a few dozen permanent jobs. But there are people out there that say this country needs to get back to work. Are there any conditions under which you and your group would say that it's okay to build this pipeline?
I agree that it is time to bring more jobs to this country, but that's where I think we need to start investing in renewable energy, because that is not a temporary job situation. That is something that would be permanent, and it's something that would require actually implement energy independence in our country. There's a lot of rhetoric and narratives out there that oil in this country, these particular pipelines, are going to encourage energy independence, but it's not true. We know that this oil is going to be exported. So there's a lot of false narratives, a lot of lies, and if we're talking about creating jobs, renewable energy is the way to go. It's untapped territory, and it would create millions of jobs.
Shailene Woodley, thank you very much for joining me. I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.